Hey guys, this video is going to be a little bit different because in this video, as you can tell by the title, you guys are going to help me build my 20 by 30 frame tent that just came in. So as most of you may know, or maybe some of you don't, me and my fiance own and operate a small party rental business here in central New York where we are from. Tables, tents, chairs, inflatables, pretty much everything you would need for a backyard party or wedding. We usually do something called a pole tent, and those are on grass and have to be staked into the ground. But we've been meaning to get into frame tents, which is what this is, which can go on concrete and be weighed down with like cinder blocks or water barrels instead of staking it into the ground. And back in November, somebody placed an order for this 20 by 30 frame tent, so when's a better time than now to buy it? And since we just took it off the freight truck today, we might as well get it out, get it set up, and make sure we're not missing any pieces as this tent does go out next weekend. So in the beginning, we started by just laying down all the framework and figuring out where the pieces go. Now here is where I start to build the frame and fasten it into the splitters with the pins. First, you're going to want to go around the perimeter and make sure all the outside poles are together. Quick Red Bull break. And this is what you're going to have when you do that. And then you're going to go through the middle and make sure all your long pieces from the corner to the crown are connected first. These are the longest pieces and they are going to be the hardest to get in. And I did speed all this up for time's sake, but this did seem like it took forever. I wish it was this quick. So this is the middle bar that connects the two crowns. And basically what we're out of frame doing here is the same thing we did on the other side. As you can see, it did take a little more time on that side as we were having a hard time getting that pole in, but we did end up figuring it out. And this is what it looks like. And now we're going to go through and finish the top of the tent, putting in all the other side poles that connect the frame to the crown. Let me tell you, a lot of companies near us tell us that frame tents are a lot easier than pole tents, and I don't know if I'm just accustomed to pole tents because we've been doing them for the past 5 years, but this was not easy. I had to keep my hands over my head majority of the time, and these pieces are heavy, especially when you link the whole frame together, and never mind when you finally get the top on. So I don't know, by the end, like my arms were killing me. It felt like jello. I couldn't even lift it anymore. If you do tents or are familiar with them at all, leave in the comments which one you think is easier. And this is what your top should look like. And now for the fun part of putting the canopy on top of the frame. So basically what we did was put a drop cloth along the side of the tent down the 30-foot side, and then we opened up the top and we just slid it over. As you can see, it would probably be easier with the third person in the middle, but we just kept going from the outside to the middle to pull it over, making sure we didn't snag it or rip it along the way. Then we just went around to the corners and fastened the canvas to the frame. And then it was time to put the feet on the legs. So you do this part because it leaves a flat base for the leg. Those poles are hollow on the inside, and as you can imagine, if you stick a hollow metal pole with a lot of weight on it in the grass, it's just going to sink and fill with dirt. So these are basically to keep it in place and stop it from doing that. And just imagine me doing this 10 times for each of the legs. It was a little difficult to do one-handed. You'll see I struggle with the pin a little bit, but I was able to do it. And there's 10 legs, so you do this 10 times. And after you've put the feet on all the legs, you go ahead and lift the frame up, and then you have somebody come underneath the corner with the leg and you stick it up in there, and then you shove a pin through to keep it in place. And you just go corner by corner. I would recommend with starting on the 20-foot side. So do one of the corners on the 20-foot side and go to the other one and do the same. Don't do it long ways because it's just a lot of pressure on the tent. And by the second leg, my arms felt like they were going to fall off. She had a little bit of a problem getting the pin in, but it was honestly that she was just too short and she wasn't sticking the pin straight through. God love her, but she helped. She tried. And then we moved on to the other side and put the legs in each corner on the other side as well. And just out of frame here to the right is us putting the final leg in the final corner. And after you've done that, you really just walk around to the rest of the legs and put them in. As you put each leg in, the frame gets a little bit easier and a little bit lighter, and it's easier to do. And if this was a job for a client, we would be fastening the top of the canopy to the frame. And that, my friends, is the first time I built a 20 by 30 frame tent, and this is how it came out. Thanks so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Bye!